Let's go for a walk. Now, today I want to talk about reversing your biological age. This is something that comes up if you ever see any of the biohackers. They might be talking about a biological age a lot younger than their own age. If you've ever been to the gym and been on some fancy scales, you might have found that they were able to give you a biological age, and hopefully it was younger than what you are actually clocked up in years. And the thing is, this can be influenced by so many different elements, mostly just by being healthy and not doing what everybody else does. So for a starting point, easiest way to have a look at things is go into the instant vitality audit and just go through those 7 questions and see where you're at. It'll give you a score. I think the score is out of 35. And if you're in the top percentile, great. But if you are in the lower half, then you got some work to do, because whatever you're doing obviously isn't working. So it's a matter of being able to just do some of the simple things on a consistent basis. Eating more fruits and vegetables, protein, eating less junk food, processed food, less alcohol, exercising regularly, getting outside and getting some fresh air and some sunlight, some vitamin D to try and reset your circadian rhythm so you sleep better, because the better you sleep, the better you recover. Making sure you actually get enough sleep, that's a massive one. It's amazing. So many people that still just do not get enough sleep. I understand that there's plenty of distractions these days, but anyway, start with that vitality audit and see where you're at. That'll give you a reality check. It's going to take you about a minute to go through and answer any of the questions. But then you've got a baseline, a starting point, you know exactly where you're at. So from there, if we're looking at 12 weeks, think about your first 4 weeks as just a stabilization. You're just trying to get things back to a basic level of, yeah, not bad. It's all right. Trying to take away some of those bad habits that you might lean on because it's just easy, convenient. And a lot of the time in this stabilization phase, it's more about just paying attention to what you're doing and realizing, oh yeah, this is probably not a good thing for me. I know it's not a good thing for me. I'm about ready to do something about it. So a lot of the time we know what's good for us and what's not good for us, but if you're tired, if you're burnt out, it's really hard to take action on actually doing anything about it. So set that stabilization phase of just setting your basics up, getting you into a point of awareness of what you're eating, what exercise you're doing throughout a week, how you're thinking, because if you're thinking negative thoughts, then that's only going to drive you towards negative outcomes. And then trying to manage your stress, not overdoing things. And I'm not talking about not overdoing work, but also not overdoing fun, because sometimes you can just get too carried away with fun, and that turns into a night that ends up with too much alcohol and then leading on to junk food, and then sleeping most of the next day, or just feeling like absolute garbage the next day and not being able to go and do all those things you know are good for you. This vicious cycle just feeds itself and it drags you down even further. So the following 4 weeks, phase 2 is really about healthy habits and setting up those healthy habits on a regular basis. Because if you can make it a habit, then you're going to find it's something you don't have to think about too much anymore. So I've set up a habit of coming down to the river, walking around through the park, and doing that first thing in the morning. As many mornings as is possible. It doesn't always work for me because On Sunday I go out and play beach volleyball fairly early, so I'm already outside doing the same sort of thing. But if I come and go for a walk in the park, then I'm going to record some videos, and I'm getting the fresh air, I'm getting the vitamin D, I'm out in nature, I'm getting some movement in early, I'm setting myself up for the day. It's a healthy habit that just leaves me feeling good, and I'm so much better, clearer, sharper for the rest of the day. So I want you to think about some healthy habits you could start setting up for that second phase. Phase number 3 is the point where you're going to start seeing results, and you're going to hear feedback from other people who have seen what you're doing, and they've actually noticed, hey, you're doing this thing. Hey, you're looking good. You look different. You seem different. You've got a good energy about you. You seem much happier at the moment. The cool thing about once you're in this phase is it motivates you even more to go back and just do more of the same thing, to do more of those good habits. It consolidates your efforts because you know that you've actually gotten a result from it. And that's important because you've got to have some sort of motivation to actually go and do the thing. So there are your 3 phases. The next thing you would need to know is like, well, what do I actually do? So some of that is just going to be your basic minimums. And that could be getting out for a walk every day for an hour. It could be doing strength training for 2 times a week. I don't care if you're starting out and you're only doing 5 minutes 2 days a week, because if you've got the habit built, you start to feel better, you probably end up doing more. It might build up to 10, 15, 30 minutes. As you feel better, you do more, everything improves. Might be cleaning up your diet a little bit. It could be just making sure you're getting protein at 3 meals per day, or if you're skipping breakfast, at least 2 meals per day, because then you've got sustained energy throughout the day. Making sure you get vegetables with every meal. Choosing to get your foods from quality sources, and what I mean by that is organic fruits and vegetables if possible, grass-fed meats, the better quality food, the better fuel that you're putting in your body, the better you're going to feel, the more energy you're going to have, the better you're going to look. And then stress management is a major one, which I spend a lot of time working with people on. And a lot of it's just being aware of the stress that's coming in and then doing something about it, because it's really easy to just do nothing about it. But once you realize that there are simple solutions to it, like doing a 5-minute breathwork practice before you get home so you can leave some of the stress of the day at work. Doing a journaling practice, so a brain dump, getting rid of all the stuff that's going on in your brain about work. So again, you've got it out of your head and you leave it at work. So by the time you get home, that stress is dealt with, and you can deal with anything else work related tomorrow. You can be present for your family, your partner, or just be in a place by yourself where you are actually able to just go and do the things that you want to do to look after you. A lot of these things, they don't take a huge amount of time, they just take a little bit of discipline to do, and do them on a consistent basis. Consistency is really king with all of this sort of stuff. So once you have a plan, you know exactly what to do. You don't have to think about it. You just got to show up and do the work. And showing up is the hardest part. So now when I run through my coaching process with people, we don't just look at these basic health and fitness markers. We look at stress from multiple points of view, because if you skip one of these phases, if you skip one of these areas, you're doing yourself a disservice, because there is always stress trapped in old thought patterns, old behavior patterns. So I'm talking about, yes, the physical health, but also your mental and emotional health, which carries a huge amount of stress. Financial, always stress involved in finances, whether you've got it all under control or you don't. Your spiritual life, spiritual health, which is often based on past beliefs, things you were brought up with but may not believe anymore, or just being detached from nature and not actually engaging with things anymore, being so disconnected from the world because you're so stuck in the adulting of life that you're not paying attention. And then there's your social health, your relationship with your immediate family and friends, your inner circle, and then your community at large. So do you even want to get out and go and meet people, or are you at a point where you just had enough and you just rather spend time by yourself? Or maybe you've lost the social skills or the confidence that you used to have in order to be able to do the things you want to do. And then we go deeper into your job, your career, your mission, your purpose. Is that all working for you? Or is that just feeding the stress cycle and making things worse? Making sure you're doing the things that bring you joy, your hobbies, your fun. Enjoying life, actually living life rather than just existing and getting by. Because if you're just going through the motions, what's the point? There's no joy there. If you miss out on the joy of life, then that's not really living at all. And finally, we put it all together with your lifestyle and your quality of life. And this is where you integrate all of these things into your current life and lifestyle, so that you are actually living the way that you want to live. It's not just a theory anymore, but you're putting these things into practice so that you can get the most out of life and live the life that you actually want to live. Because it's really easy to just get stuck living somebody else's idea of your life. But if you can live your own life on your terms, then that's really the best way to go. So once you know about this and you go through this process, you end up with a life map. And that life map is your way of being able to say, all right, this is where I'm going, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to get there. Because it's really easy to get distracted by your responsibilities or other people's idea of how they want you to live your life, so that you're no longer living the life that you want to live. Well, the life map puts you in charge of your future and shifts your focus so that you are thinking more about what you want, and then you can actively live in the way that you want. It's so easy for other people to just take over and tell you what you need or what you want. But if you can live your life on your terms, it's far more enjoyable. As I said earlier, I'm getting up early and I'm doing this out of habit. This is one of the best parts of my day. And I haven't always done things this way. I've had to try different things to see what's going to work best for me. Since I've been doing this, I feel so much better and I don't want to miss out on it. It's like one of the things I look forward to each day. The quiet, the stillness, the peace that comes, fresh air, being out in nature. It's very relaxing, and it just allows me to start my day on a very positive note, setting me up for success. And I find that I'm so much more productive and I can think more clearly just by doing this. So don't discount some of these habits for just a little gimmick that are not going to have an impact on your life. Because even for me, after doing this, after maybe a week or two, I'm already set and like, no, this way is way better than what I was doing, and I want to keep doing things this way. Now, if you're not sure where to start, as I said, Instant Vitality Audit is always your best place to go. Get started there, and once you've done that, go and do the 14-day energy upgrade, because that'll show you a few small habits that'll add up to big success very quickly. You'll find that you'll have more energy and less stress, and it'll be a noticeable difference within the week. That first week will already start to change things dramatically. You'll find it all in the community, links down in the description. Go and jump in there. Love to hear from you, your results once you get going. Talk again soon.